With this week's Parsha of Parashat Vayechi, we're going to be finishing Sefer Breshit, the Sefer that started with the creation of the world and told us about the forefathers of the Avot, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. The Ramban explains that we are meant to look at the deeds of our forefathers and learn lessons for ourselves. Maaseh Avot Siman Lebanim. And we're supposed to learn certain lessons from our Avot. One of the things that we're going to see in this week's Parsha of Parashat Vayechi is Yaakov is about to die. And in preparation for his death, he wants to leave a legacy for his children and his grandchildren. So what does he do? He does three things. Number one, he sends Yehudah ahead of him to Mitzrayim. Number two, he asks his children to make sure that they bury him in Eretz Yisrael. And number three is that he accepts his grandchildren as his children, and they become part of the 12 tribes. And what are the lessons that we're meant to learn from here? I think we can see three very important principles. Number one, the Midrash Tanhuma explains that when Yaakov sends Yehudah ahead to Egypt, he's doing so in order so that he can set up schools or yeshivot, places of study, so that the children of Israel will have a place to strengthen their Torah commitment. Number two, he begs his children to bury him in Eretz Yisrael. He's teaching his children and us, the future generations, the importance of being in Eretz Yisrael. And if you can't live there, at least to be buried there. There is a sanctity, there's a kedusha of Eretz Yisrael that Yaakov felt it was so important to make sure that his children buried him there. And the last thing that he does is embrace his grandchildren. And I think that these three things are legacies that Yaakov leaves for us. The centrality of Torah in our lives as individuals and as a nation. Number two, the centrality of Eretz Yisrael. And number three, the importance of family, and not just children, but grandchildren, because they are our continuation. Wishing everyone a Shabbat Shalom.